Ahead of the Shriners Children's Showdown presented by Kubota, we are visiting with Oregon head coach Mark Wasikowski. And Waz, the Ducks are, you hosted a regional a couple years ago. You hosted a super regional last year. Tons of momentum in your program. If you don't mind, give us maybe a high-level view of this year's club, the 2024 Ducks.
Thanks. First off, thanks for having me. This year's ball club looks like it's going to be really, really good, potentially even, even more talented than the club we had last year and better. Time will tell on that, obviously, but we're losing a lot of key players on offense. That's a big factor. And so when you look at a stat sheet, you don't have a bunch of returners on offense that you can point to that were All-Americans and stuff like that naturally pollsters and people in your business would look at and say, okay, well, these are the guys that we're going to be ranking highly based off of a thick list of contributors a year ago. We've got a few, but we also lost several people offensively that, we're going to have to replace. We feel really confident about the club that we're going to put forward to because the replacements we think are there. We had a lot of talent that was sitting behind players that were really good last year. And then with the recruits we brought in and a few of the portal guys, we think we've got some plug and play guys right away. And we're hoping that the pitching from last year that we rolled out a lot of young arms last year, just 11 guys that were freshmen that pitched for us and got considerable innings. We're all freshmen. We're hoping that those experience moments from last year clearly help us this year. And again, we've added a lot of pieces on the pitching front too. So I really like our ball club. I think it's going to be really, really strong.
Love it. Yeah, and you're right, Waz. Those freshmen, you guys are a game from Omaha with a bunch of, youngsters. Hey, so your pitching's so interesting because you've got these talented sophomores now that were thrown into the fire last year, but you've also got two veterans, two more household names on the West Coast that are back from injury, RJ Gordon and Isaac Aon. Tell us about those two kids and what you're expecting and hoping for from them this year.
Well, time will tell. First off, great leadership. They're awesome kids. And we have been, and we are bringing them back slow. They're passing all the tests and they're moving in the right direction. We think that they could be really, really good for us this year. But when guys go down with injuries, I'm not going to get really super excited until just you can pass the test of time with the buildup and the number of innings that are coming and all that kind of stuff. They're obviously exceptionally talented young guys. We're not going to race to get them back out there and really overpitch them or anything like that. We're going to have a mind for their futures because they do have big professional futures in front of them. So we'll bring them back slow, but I think they can be really good. And on the older side too, we added a kid named Kevin Sider and another guy named Bradley Mullen, who, Brad came from Gonzaga. Kevin Sider came from Quinnipiac, mouthful, from the East Coast. And boy, really old guys that can pitch and have been really, really good for us so far. And so, amongst some other guys that came in here too, whether they're freshmen or some transfers, the pitching really looks to be a much improved area of our ball club.
Love it. That's great. Incredible depth on the mound for the Ducks. So let's talk about the position players, Waz. There's two names that jump out at me. I think your most famous position player is Jacob Walsh, your first baseman from Las Vegas, huge left-handed threat. And then Drew Smith is really intriguing to me. Was a highly recruited kid, a famous kid coming out of Fresno and got his feet wet last year. But as you mentioned, you had a position player group that was going to be tough to break into last year. Tell us about Jacob and Drew and what what roles they probably play for you all this year.
Well, Jacob had a fantastic year last year and was really, really good in the postseason. Big, strong left-handed hitting guy. I think he hit 16 home runs, 17 home runs for us a year ago. And I even had some media around here saying, well, what have you done to get Jacob more consistent and get him better? And I'm sitting there going, wow, that's kind of like a 40 home run guy at the major league level. And the question of, hey, is he getting better? He has gotten better. He's a force already. He had a heck of a year for us last year. Drew Smith, he was a freshman last year and he DH'd a lot for us because we had Ceballos, who was our MVP last year, playing third round draft pick with the Braves. Yeah, Drew Smith, Buchanan High School, Brett Ponce, head coach, awesome coach and great program. And he hit over 400 for us for a good chunk of last year, was great in the postseason. And really, Rune's one of the guys that I think that people are just, the scouts aren't, but others maybe missing is Bennett Thompson. The dude went off in postseason play, absolutely went off. Home runs in Super Regional, carried us at the Vanderbilt Regional. I don't know if he carried us, he was a huge factor in that. We had a lot of guys really play well in that regional versus Tim's club at Vanderbilt. But Bennett, tremendous player, and he's in his draft eligible junior year. He's our backstop, and he's just a tough Southern Oregon kid. We love him.
That's awesome. Hey, Waz, last one for you. Tell us about the Shriners tournament is famous in college baseball, and it is not for the faint of heart, right? Like, you guys are going to play really, really good clubs, and but you're also going to play in a big league park, in a big league environment. From your perspective, it's a lot, but what all does that bring to the table for this team?
Yeah, we get a chance to play where the World Series was, right? And
Yeah.
won, and the Rangers and all. It's just so awesome. For me, it just I don't know. For me, just getting invited to the tournament first off shows that the program has gotten to a place where the people doing the invitations of these tournaments recognize us as being up there amongst the nation's best. And so that's up for us to prove when we get on the field at the tournament, which is great. Yeah, I mean, the Shrine, I mean, for them to come out and do what they do, it's not just a tournament they put on and then have people come, but they come to our facility and they spend time with us and they spend time getting to know us. This is a first-class group, first-class tournament. We're thrilled to be in it. And it's our job, like I said, to show up and on game one versus not the faint of heart, Oklahoma, Baylor, and Texas Tech. I think we're playing three pretty much, even though they're neutral site games. I think we're going to be on the road for the first three, and I think the hometown fans will probably be in support of the other team more than us, but awesome to get in a big environment. That's obviously where we're all hoping to be at the end of the year is in Omaha, and that's a big stadium. And so to start in a big stadium, finish in a big stadium has been discussed, and that's one of our goals.
Love it. Well, it's best of luck this year, and we will catch you down the road. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Rooney. Take care. Go Ducks.
All right.